Welcome back to New England Streamers. Today I'm going to be tying up the golden smelt. Let's take a look at the materials. Now the originator of this fly is unknown, but it was published in Perot's Standard Dictionary of Fly Tying in 1984. I assume it got its name from the golden yellow floss that's used on the body, and of course the golden pheasant tippet and golden pheasant crest feathers that are used. So I'm going to go ahead and start my thread behind the hook eye. I'm using white UTC thread in 210. You can use any color you want. It's not going to matter. You're going to be using floss for the body anyway. So if you just want to start some black thread, some black UTC in 210, that'd be perfect. You won't have to switch your threads up. Alright, so I'm just working my way down the hook shank towards the point of the hook. Gave my bobbin a little spin there because this UTC is flat thread, so that flattens it out a little bit, makes it easier to wrap. Alright, once I get down here towards the point, I'm just going to snip off my tag end. Now I'm going to tie in the tail, which is some golden pheasant tippet. I'm going to use one of these smaller feathers, small to mid-size feathers, down here towards the bottom. Just rip a whole feather off. And then I'm just going to strip away a couple of the bottom fibers here so it ties in easier. Let's see how this looks. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm just going to tie this in, a few wraps here, make sure everything still looks good. That looks good to me. I'm going to snip this stem off close as I can get it. Take a few wraps over that. And now I'm going to continue all the way back up to the hook eye with my thread. Get these turns as close as possible. Because the neater these turns are, the better your floss is going to look once it goes on. Whoops. Oops. Alright. So now I'm going to grab some tinsel. I've got some two-sided gold-silver tinsel here. The rib is going to be gold, so we're going to want the gold side showing. That means you tie the gold side down. So here we go. Gold side is down, silver side is up. And I'm just going to tie this in the whole length of the fly. Give my bobbin a spin here. And these long flies do take quite a while to put down a thread base, but I'm almost there. And I'm going to take these last couple turns here super tight, because there is a little bump from tying in the tail. If I can lash them down tight enough right here, I can kind of flatten that out. Alright. Back up towards the hook eye. Just going to grab onto the hook so it doesn't bounce around on me so much here. Alright. Now I'm going to tie in my yellow floss. I got this Danville's 4-strand. I'm just going to tie this in at the hook eye. Loose turn here. Another loose turn. Alright, now I'm going to work my way down towards the point of the hook one more time. Tying in this yellow floss. And stop just past the point of the hook. Alright, so now it's time to wrap the floss. I'm going to wrap underneath towards me, and I'm leaving the thread right where it's at, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to use that thread, just go underneath it and advance it forward. And that does actually kind of help keep the floss turns fairly even. Just take nice touching turns up towards the hook eye. But I'm not going to go all the way to the hook eye, because this pattern calls for pink floss half or 1/3 of the way up. So I'm going to do about 1/3, I guess. Something like this should work. I'm just taking one turn over, maybe another one here, but that's it. So it's not, the floss isn't very secure right now, so keep that in mind. I'm going to grab my pink floss, snip off a piece of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it in like this. I'm going to start the pink floss at the hook eye, the tag end at the hook eye, pull back that yellow, just like this. Lash it down, snip off your yellow, and I'm going to continue all the way up to the hook eye, lashing this pink floss in. Alright, now I'm going to continue wrapping my pink floss in the same direction as I wrap the yellow, towards me and under the hook. Bind that down with a couple nice turns here, and snip it off. And I'm just going to throw a half hitch in here so my floss doesn't come undone while I'm wrapping the tinsel rib. In the same direction, under and towards me. Just try to get fairly uniform wraps here. Tie it down. And snip it off. Throw another half hitch in here so my tinsel doesn't come undone. And another one. Alright, now it's time to tie in the throat. I'm going to be using some golden pheasant crest feathers like these ones here. You can see the fibers on them are super fine. You could peel them off individually and stack them in a hair stacker to get them even. I tied them in here, but my camera died. Sorry about that, guys. But I'm still not happy about the amount of fibers, so I'm going to show you how to tie in a full feather if you'd prefer to do it this way. You just line up the tips, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Tie it in. There, I like that. Now we've doubled up the golden pheasant crest feathers. I think it looks a lot better. Try to get in there without snipping your thread. Looks like I might have snipped a few fibers of mine, but that's alright. Wrap it up and cover them up. And I'll clean this up a little bit with some scissors. Alright, now it's time to move on to the wings. So I have these badger saddle hackles, which are dyed green. And I'm going to take two of these and put them together like this. And I'm going to try to get the length about just past the tip of the tail. So I'll peel these fibers off that are too long. Now you can see when I put it back up to the fly, it should be the proper length. It looks perfect. And now I have to do the same thing for the opposite side. Measure the length, peel off the extra fibers, and looks good. I'm going to tie in both my feathers at the same time. Try to get them on the sides. There we go. Now take a few tight turns. And that looks pretty good. So I think I'm going to go with that. I'll take a few more turns. Make sure the feathers are on there tight. Now I'm going to bend the stems upwards and snip them off. Well, I'll tie them in and then I'll snip them off. Alright, awesome. Now I'm just going to use my whip finish tool to finish this thread neatly, because I have to put my black thread on now. Snip off the tag, and we're in business. So now it's time to tie in the cheeks. It's going to be some jungle cock feathers, one on each side. And select feathers that are the proper size for this fly. I'd say something like this would look good. Strip away that fluff at the bottom. And get one for the other side. That looks about the same. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, strip away the fluff here. And tie them in. A few loose turns at first. And then you can start getting tighter here. Tie in the other side. You can do both at the same time if you wish. I actually need to move my thread backwards before I start tying this one in. There we go. Alright, couple loose turns here. And then pull down. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to bend these stems back. And tie these in. Snip them off. Now I'm going to build up a nice neat head. Grab my whip finish tool. I like using this because it makes a neater finish than when I do it by hand. Snip it off. Put some head cement, Sally Hansen's, whatever you prefer on. I'm going to do 2 coats of Sally Hansen's here. But I'll probably just show you this one and call it good, because I've got to wait for it to dry now before I put the next coat of Sally Hansen's on. Alright guys, and that is the finished golden smelt. I know there are a lot of golden smelts out there, but I'm glad I chose to tie this pattern up in particular, because I think it came out looking pretty good. If you guys have any trouble tying this one up, just leave some comments and I'd be happy to help you out as much as I can. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time.